dawned on me then. I was like, what I'm passionate about is setting boundaries in the workplace. Like, that's what I want to talk about. It's amazing that by doing that, you can grow your business more than if you just stick your head in the sand and work yourself to death. Every time I give that presentation, somebody comes up to me. They've either had a bad week, they've had a bad year, they're overwhelmed, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever's going, and they come up to me and they say, Melissa, I absolutely needed to hear that today.
Wow.
And that makes it worth it to me.
So this is Catherine and Christopher Tipper, the 401 couple.
Thank you.
And we are here with Melissa Terito. And she is, it says CPA at Sentinel Pension, but you're more than that. What's your title?
I don't know. Wild child, rebel, against the status quo.
That's amazing. That's what I love. So part of our shtick with our thing is to have the guests pick what they like. And some want to drink and some want to eat their calories. And you have rosé. So that's very cool.
So why is this your drink? Or why was this our special treat for today?
Honestly, cheers.
Cheers.
Honestly, I just love rosé, and the closer we get to summer, the more I want to drink it.
There's no special. Okay, well, have you partaken in the south of France?
No, there's no, like, when you sent me that email, I was like, there's no special meaning behind rosé. I just really like it.
And some people are just out there, Christopher. They like things, and that's why they do things.
Right,
there's no.
I felt like I was supposed to have a deep connection to rosé, but I mean, rosé all day. It's really just...
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a lightning round.
Are you ready?
Go.
Lightning round. Number 1. Did you stumble into this industry by accident, or was it a calculated move? And we mean TPA, not CPA.
Accident. It was an accident.
So what's your origin story real quick?
Background in education. I taught high school math for 4 years, decided that I had a career crisis at the age of 28, went back to school to sit for the CPA exam, started at my firm in their TPA division.
So what did you do? Lose a bet and you got stuck in the TPA division, or what?
I needed a job, and I was in college and married, and I just said, I'll make call. I don't even know what you're talking about, is what I told my old boss. I will do it. Thank you for giving me a shot.
That seems to be the predominant theme. I'm unemployed. Can I do the job? I don't know. We'll find out, right? Okay. Number 2. What's the one local dish you cannot get enough of?
Crawfish.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. So do you, like, in a boil, or is it you roast them, or how do you do them?
No, you boil them, and most of the time you just put them on a tray, and then you peel them, and then you eat them, and then you throw away the shells, and you get another tray, wash, rinse, repeat. That's what we do.
So is it but it's a certain time of year, right?
Yes. And
when
then they
is
go out of season. So they're still in season right now, probably till May, June.
Okay, so when I
looked at your watch, were you planning
I just
to
got
go
a message, okay, about something else. Like when my crab boil's done. No, I'm kidding. No, so the first, when I was working for Dayter, I got sent down to Lake Charles, okay, for training, and I thought we're gonna have a crawfish boil. Nope. Wrong time of year. It was just, yeah. So I've never actually had one of those great big ones in Louisiana. All right. Now then, which TV show had you glued to the screen recently? Have you been binging?
No, I'm more of a reader.
Okay.
I don't love TV that much, but this wasn't recent, but Schitt's Creek is still a TV show I could watch.
Okay.
Okay.
But then what I wanted to ask.
That's,
but I had what I wanted to do, because I'm thinking, what if the person's a reader? Okay. So what book series have you been binging recently?
I haven't really been, not really any sort of series. I'm not a big series fan, Christopher. It's a big commitment, right? Sorry, I feel like I'm failing this rapid fire question. I would say, if anything, I'm binging a lot of Dan Sullivan's books from Strategic Coach, to be quite honest. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm just reading all through those.
That sounds like work. No. Okay. So what drew you to live in your current location?
Born and raised here.
Oh.
So nothing drew you away. That's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
If you could pack your bags and go anywhere on Earth, where would you travel to?
I mean, if I could move right now, I would probably just go somewhere in Colorado where the summers are not, where the summers are nice and you get nice mountain views. It's hot down here.
You have a humidity and a lack of altitude problem, don't you?
Yeah, it's you never get used to the humidity. Everybody's asking, they're like, "Oh, you're used to it." I'm like, "No, it's miserable. August is the most miserable month of my life in this city."
Is
And
this,
we're probably gonna have a hurricane, so
well, there is
hurricane
that.
fun.
Now, I'm being kind of rude a little bit, and I'm asking a question I don't know the answer to. So, is the state bird of Louisiana the pelican or the mosquito?
Technically, it's the pelican, but it
Okay,
should.
just checking.
Okay.
Catherine. Now then, well, so this
so he turns to me. Make this serious
make
now.
this nice. Play by play color. Okay. No,
Got it.
so it's kind of a bummer it's taken so many weeks to get us together on the podcast, but I saw your post in February, I think it was. Amazing pictures and the whole thing with what you're doing for personal. I classify that as personal growth, the way you were talking about your what you've been doing lately. So you've been very creative lately, very purposely changing your approach. Catherine, take it take it away.
So I would even say what's interesting looking at your LinkedIn page is the first thing that doesn't lead is TPA. It leads entrepreneur, speaker, empowering professionals to set boundaries. And it looks like you're expanding or rebranding or do something. You're looking at a larger picture. So tell me, what are you doing? Is it a rebrand? Is it getting larger? What are you doing?
And
Well,
why?
sometimes I don't know, Catherine.
And why?
Well, I will say that it's kind of it's multifaceted. If y'all don't mind me rambling just for a little bit, so a short snippet of history. I started in my firm as an intern back in 2009 after 4 years of teaching high school math, and didn't really know what. I mean, had no idea what a TPA. I really didn't know what a CPA was. I was just going to go pursue that because I felt like I liked math, honestly. I don't have this wonderful story behind it. Anyway, fast forward, I moved up in my firm. I'm now one of the equity partners. And in 2016, that's when I was named one of the partners at my firm and just underwent a lot of stress and working a lot of hours. Which, I always say that. And I think some people, we all have a different tolerance for what that looks like. What does our career truly look like? And so, basically, long story short, I ended up in a therapist's office who told me I needed to set some boundaries. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you please explain that to me? And what do I do? And really just kind of set me on this trajectory of exploring how does that work in the workplace. And then it's very interesting how things just kind of happen, right? And so that was something I've been very passionate about working on myself and also helping others. I give a keynote presentation about it. I love talking about it. I love kind of validating people's feelings when they feel a little overwhelmed. But then I started reading and listening to some of these entrepreneur, business owner, strategic books. And the funniest thing is all these books, while they might not say boundaries in their title, a lot of it is about setting boundaries as a business owner and an entrepreneur. And it's amazing that by doing that, you can grow your business more than if you just stick your head in the sand and work yourself to death. And so that's really where I've wanted my brand to be a little bit more than me being just a TPA, because I think that all of us bring so much more. Like even if I talk on the TPA side, right? If I ask a client, why are you working with me? They're not going to tell me, your ADP report, Melissa, and your compliance reports, you just knocked it out of the park. They're going to say, you take care of me, your team takes care of me, you answer our questions, you give us guidance. I have a client that tells me I keep her out of jail, all things. And so it kind of just has been like, it's really my personality and what I can bring to the table. And so I'm not leaving the TPA space at all. I'm just expanding what I'm doing. There's a lot of people that travel, and I really want to be a public speaker. And so I had to put myself out there on LinkedIn. You know, it wasn't super comfortable. I've gotten better at it, but I've made some probably bolder posts over the past year than I've made before, just in terms of what I'm doing to really achieve some sort of balance, but still also have success and grow as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So, and from the that bit of the bio that Catherine was just reading from, there's a word on there I'm not familiar with. I'm hoping you can explain to me why it's on there. Say N-O with
Yes.
say what?
That would be
Wait a minute.
no.
You're saying what kind of you're saying no? Is it TPA? Is that legal? Can we do?
Well, the model we grew up in, right, was, it was kind of
We can do that?
it's tax deadlines. You work evenings and weekends. You just kill yourself to get that. And so that I think that was the prominent
just
model.
say
And
no is
so,
working for you.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's just what you want to.
That's the part where you're supposed to say it with confidence, Melissa. All right,
It
yeah.
does. Because I just feel like I feel bad for saying it, but I don't really feel that bad. So it's really, and that's kind of in all aspects of life, right? In terms of saying no. And so some of it is, what are we doing individually with our time? You know, how much it's really more about protecting your time. To say no is a byproduct of protecting your time.
Right.
And that can be anything from volunteering for things that you might not really feel passionate about, for a client that's not going to be a good fit for you, for if you're on vacation and a client calls you or wants to set a meeting, don't do that. I mean, unless you really want to. I don't really want to do that. And so I've just learned that I've never had any backlash from saying no in a polite way. Obviously, I do say this. I mean, it says in there, say no, but I think, I don't just email a client and go, no, I have found, and this is something a little bit recent, but I have discovered that a lot of what I was doing on a day-to-day basis, and this is just going to blow people's minds, I didn't need to be the one doing it. That wasn't my unique skill set that required me to be able to do that. More times than not, there's someone on my team that's better served to be able to do that task or take care of that client. But in order to have that happen, I have to empower my team. I have to make the appropriate introductions so that the client's advisors, record keeper partners, that they also trust my team. And I think that I've built a reputation that they know that Melissa runs a tight ship, and she's going to hire people who have her same service philosophy and are going to take care of us. I really needed to free up my time to work on the business instead of in the business. I'm like you guys. I'm an overachiever, type A personality. I get frustrated when I can't go and do what I love to do because I'm doing all of these other things that I don't really love to do. And Catherine and I have talked about this before, but I just love the sales piece. I love meeting new people. I love working with referral sources. And I get frustrated. I'm hard on myself, and I'm a tough critic, and I get frustrated whenever I can't do that because I have so many other things in my way. And so that's really kind of what started this journey of freeing up my time and protecting my time to be able to work on what really my skill set can be utilized for.
So one more question about, and a variation of no, does that include culling the
Absolutely.
most annoying?
She answered that without you finishing the question.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. And then it also, real quickly, it sounds like it was a personal rebrand, not a firm rebrand, correct?
That's accurate. Yes, that is accurate. We rebranded Sentinel a couple of years ago with a new logo and kind of a new tagline. Funny, we're kind of going through more of a rebrand on the CPA firm side as well. But this was, I'm not a marketing person, and I wouldn't even say I'm overly creative. I just talk a lot. And so one of the things that I've learned is our company has a brand, but we all have a personal brand, right? And most of the time people are doing business because of you, not really because of your company. Your company's going to have a reputation and it's important, but you really need to build your personal brand. And I just feel like I have, my old LinkedIn probably said CPA, TPA partner at Sentinel Pension, which is fine. That's technically my title, but I decided to change that a couple of weeks ago to really align with what I'm passionate about. And that is being a business owner and speaking to people.
No. Did you feel like you said you're relying on your staff more? Did you have to do any changes in your staff in terms of either training or expectations to get them to be the people who really back you up?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And that's, you know, I think when you have a team that buys into your vision and your mission and understands what you're doing, then they come to work and they enjoy the work and they enjoy moving the boat in the same direction as what you're doing. But it does require communication and setting expectations. And one thing I've learned over time, because I've made, full disclosure, I've made plenty of mistakes in my career. Okay. That's the only reason why I know what to do now. But one thing that I've learned over time is that there are just certain individuals that are going to be great team members and they're going to be great for your organization, but they're only going to push themselves so far. It's very interesting to me that people will work to the extent that you push them. And obviously I'm not talking 80-hour weeks. I mean, giving them projects you might not think that they can do, but then they surprise you because they are resourceful and they go back and figure it out. Or, hey, can you call this financial advisor for me? Relay this information, and they're able to do this and they feel empowered to be able to do this. And then they also know that you as the owner or the leader trust them to be able to do that. So, that's kind of that's really how I'm starting to identify, do we really have the right people in the right seat? Because those are the people that I want on our team. I want them to be as passionate about this as I was 16 years ago and still am today.
Yeah. No, beautiful, beautiful. So I look at your LinkedIn and I see things like there are books. So how do you pick the books that you want to feature? Do you have is it just a book you like, or is it something that tickles your fancy in terms of a business idea? What's the way that you choose what you highlight?
So our firm recently implemented Traction, which is an entrepreneurial operating system, EOS.
Yeah, we've heard of it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, there's some people that might not necessarily agree with it, but our firm had hit a ceiling, to be quite honest. And that's, remember, I'm part of a CPA firm. And so I'm involved in the CPA firm operations. Every company hits a ceiling, just kind of what happens. And so we decided to implement Traction. So they've been giving us some books. And then I have some great mentors here in town that also have recommended some books. A lot of those books that I'm posting, I've had for several years and I've been hesitant to read them.
And now you read
it.
I want to get into the reason why we asked her on the podcast.
Go for it.
It's okay. So I need to know more. The photo shoot's obvious, but what's this mic drop? Talk to me. I mean, why the whole concept? Why that vendor? What? I know nothing. Explain it all to me.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
We got 9 hours. We can get more wine. We're good. Okay.
I mean, I got a Total Wine delivery a couple of days ago, so I'm good. So, cheers. So, backstory on that. So, probably at the beginning of 2020, I had been wanting to really, I'm going to say get into public speaking, but I really wanted to start getting out there in terms of keynote presentations. It's just something I enjoy doing. And I'm going to be honest, I was doing presentations before for 401k plans. And, that's, I feel like I'm excited about it, but I don't know if everybody else is, And so I thought, how can I kind of expand that skill set, get some practice, thinking about just kind of down the line, or, when I do retire, would that be something that I could pursue? So there's all these things that are going through my brain. And so it was like January 2020, I sat down with someone and I said, I really want to get into keynote speaking. And she said, and I actually say this on my podcast that I have, but this lady, she goes, well, what are you going to speak about? And I said, I don't know. I'm funny. she said, well, are you going to be a comedian? And I was like, no. Okay. So it dawned on me then. I was like, what I'm passionate about is setting boundaries in the workplace. Like, that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to go in and talk to organizations about, or associations. But the problem was that I'm sometimes overconfident in my abilities to do something. And so it just dawned on me that I could put together a presentation, and I've probably given it about 15 times, and every time I tweak it, but I can't help it. Go back to what I said 5 minutes ago. I'm an overachiever. I want it to be really good. And so we got introduced. There was a speaker at a conference that we went to, and she told me about this lady named Jess Ekstrom, who has this mic drop workshop. And I put it off because I'm like, there's no way that this can be that good, right? I mean, it's an investment. And when I tell you, it was much better than I expected, and I feel much more confident about my presentation in terms of the flow of it, what I'm able to deliver to the audience, the takeaways. So, I don't like to sit in front of a keynote speaker, and I'm like, actually, this is why I felt like I could be a keynote speaker, because I would hear keynote speakers and I'm like, I think I can do that exact same thing. So, but I wanted some takeaways. I want people to have some takeaways. And so this workshop allowed more of a structure for the presentation, which is giving me the confidence to start putting it out there and marketing it.
So are you speaking with, is it just like one-on-one? Is it you in a group? Is it a competition? What are you doing? Is it virtual? Is it in real life, or?
So I'm giving it in a couple of weeks virtually.
No, I meant the class with Jess. Is it Jess Ekstrom?
That's just Christopher. That's something that you buy. It's this, it's a workshop. So it's modules that have already been recorded. So it's kind of like a self-study.
Oh,
so she has she has like a monthly group. And let me tell you, props to her, because there's like thousands of people who join this monthly group for just women that want to get into speaking. So I do not know. I feel like I know her personally because I've been listening to these modules, and she's the one that is talking on them, but I don't know her personally.
Okay, interesting. Have you decided? I know Catherine's got. Well, so are you looking at like regional TED Talks to try to get ready to qualify for one of those? Is that a goal?
That could be a goal. I'm right now. What I'm trying to do is get into, what's my ideal target audience. A lot of times it would be women in leadership. I feel like that's a big one that you can talk about boundaries. Large companies, I think would also be a good audience in terms of talking to their leaders. Associations. So that's what I'm working on right now, and going and being hired as a keynote speaker for either a conference, or maybe they're having a retreat or something like that. So, but as someone once told me, in order to be a paid speaker, you have to speak for free a few times.
I've heard a lot, is what I've been told. Yeah.
Yeah. So
interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So Catherine, go back to your question. Sorry.
Oh, well, okay. So you also, I'd say, what is it, in the last 6 months have started doing a lot of videos. I see them on LinkedIn, or maybe it's longer than 6 months. What have you learned from that? Has it changed the way you approach your business, or the way you approach clients, or how's it working for you, and what benefits do you see for doing videos?
And to put it in an EOS context, what's your ROI?
TBD. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it is. Yeah.
So the videos, what we did was I had that podcast for Sentinel, and it was TPA Tidbits. I rebranded it as the Sentinel Pension Show to align our company name within that particular podcast.
Okay.
We changed the format of that podcast a little bit because, again, it's on retirement topics, and I was having guests on, which can be really good, but that just can make the podcast kind of long.
Yeah, so having guests on is a real pain, isn't it? Oh no, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I logged on here yesterday, and I was like, this is really neat. Y'all got it figured out. I don't know about myself, but But so we changed it to where it's, 10 to 15 minutes, almost like a sound bite, picking one topic. So we did a whole plan document journey and just picked apart the plan document. And our marketing coordinator said, y'all need to start videoing yourself. And I'm going to edit that video and put that on LinkedIn. And then we can start sharing it on LinkedIn. And it's interesting. It's kind of like, every once in a while, somebody will reach out to me on LinkedIn or I'll go meet a client. And they're like, oh, yeah, listen to that podcast. That was so informative. And I'm like, really? You listen to the podcast? So videos on LinkedIn is supposedly where it's at. I think LinkedIn has changed its algorithm a little bit to where if you do videos, you're getting a little bit more exposure and impressions from that. So it's definitely been beneficial. We have seen an uptick in some of our proposal activity and more of just top of mind.
It's funny, you don't see it on the front end. It's like not the next day you go, oh, here's 100 views and 100 new clients call in, but somebody mentions it sometime.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I actually already know you and I know what you talk about. And it changes the relationship, but there's like a lag time before you know that. So
yeah, it's not instant.
No.
It's not instant. And what's funny is, and I mean, so y'all might see this from your stats. So, I have another podcast that I'm also working on rebranding.
Oh, wow.
It's called Louisiana Ladies. That one has a lot more episodes, but I'm about to rebrand that one. And so it's funny when I look at the stats, that one we have a lot of listeners. And so I'll look at the stats and you can see like an episode will come out a year ago. And when you look at the stats, you'll see that somebody either has just like they've learned about the podcast and they're going back and they're listening to all the episodes, because they'll listen to episodes like, I'm like, golly, I forgot we did that episode, when it pulls up on the stat list or whatever. So I think that's really, it's really, to me, LinkedIn and the videos and the podcast, they're putting ourselves out there to be thought leaders in the retirement plan space and to just try to do something different than what other people are doing.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's right. We are technically thought leaders with what we're trying to do here, aren't we? Because I think I have a very...
Christopher comes to podcasts to learn things and to understand what he's doing. It's really
I'm coming here to gather information. Okay. No, but it's like I think, as a business owner, I have a very healthy ego. Okay. A lot of self-confidence, but I don't like it when I'm on a phone call. They're like, oh, so we have the ERISA expert here. And I keep waiting for somebody else to show up because I don't like the E word. Okay. And then when somebody says thought leader, okay, when are they showing? Oh, that's me? And because I guess we are. There's just something about the phrasing and I guess with what we're doing, because with what we hear from people when we go to conferences or elsewhere, like, oh, we watch all your videos. Okay, I'm like, well, why aren't you liking and commenting then, darn it? But anyways, I guess it is a form of thought leadership.
It's the German part of you that comes out.
It's the
making it different.
And social media is tough. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert on what all of those stats mean. I mean, by far, my most popular LinkedIn post was the post that I made. Me and my husband are sitting on my back patio, and I said that I deleted Outlook from my phone. I mean, that was by far my most popular post, and I just literally typed up something, stuck it on LinkedIn, put a few emojis on it, grabbed that picture of me and my husband.
Yeah.
And it was
and I remember the picture you had for it too. I actually remember that post.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think actually though what I think it is it shows who you are, more of your authentic self, right? Yeah, and it's like, oh, hey, there's Melissa and there's her husband. Look at them and what are they doing? Do you know? So
see, there is
that's
a
the part that I like to that versus like you have canned marketing that somebody, put together with visuals.
So there is a downside to having young people who aren't a tipper in charge of the digital capture and the editing. Is they do the blooper reels without our input.
Oh,
and those
are funnier. Those are funnier.
Get some very big views.
Yeah, people
Zach has fun. Oh yeah.
Yeah, people like seeing the real person. Honestly, though, most of my posts I get either engagement or likes are always with my husband, which is slightly infuriating that he somehow gets nobody in the TPA space, except with a couple of my closest friends who have been to my house, have ever met my husband. So I'm not sure what it is about that, or if it's like, oh, she does have a husband, he's there, But the social media is it's interesting, and I've just actually stopped posting really on other platforms and really focused on LinkedIn because it just gets overwhelming to try to figure out the other platforms.
Yeah.
Do you know Leah Bliss?
I've seen her on LinkedIn.
A while ago, we recorded our podcast with Leah Bliss. Okay. And strongly suggest two things. Watch our podcast. Okay. Our new person in sales is one of her first homework assignments is to watch the podcast. Okay. And then get in touch with Leah. If you really want to do stuff on LinkedIn, she's got a very different approach to it. So
yeah, good.
She's
yeah,
really,
because I don't find it to be that easy. I mean, I can post stuff, but other than that, it's not exactly the easiest thing. And, we all have other stuff to do.
yes, but when you listen to what she tells you to do, it becomes a lot more efficient, and it's very much in line with your boundary concept and just saying no.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, because that is what's funny is boundaries and social media don't always seem to go together too. And so that's how to be effective within a certain amount of time and not live there.
Well, that is one of the positive elements, I think, of LinkedIn, and that it is not anonymous. You at least have, because of how the algorithm works, your posts are somewhat connected to people you know. Okay. Yeah. And people have to have some kind of, you seem to get the bots in your DMs, but I haven't seen the bots replying, commenting on our LinkedIn posts, not like on YouTube where it's happened. So yeah, it's almost a safe. Oh God, is LinkedIn a safer space?
Just don't even
say
try.
that.
Don't
Okay.
even try.
All right.
You're trying too hard.
Didn't mean to go there with that.
It's a safe space for all.
So is the, I'm sorry, I can't let the mic drop thing go. Is that a one and done? Is there a 200 class, a 300 level class? Is this are you considering stand up? Are you going to do improv? No, in all seriousness, what else are you going to do with this? Because I found this very interesting.
Yeah, so mic drop is one and done. It's a workshop that takes you from what is your topic that you want to talk about to how do you craft a presentation to how do you market it, contract negotiation, all these things. Yeah, no, it's Jess Ekstrom is a keynote speaker, and she gets paid money to go and talk about the particular topic that she's passionate about. And so and it is, Christopher, it's about a 12 to 16 week course, kind of like a self-study course. So you really I have to block time off on my calendar to make sure that I'm doing it and I'm diligent about it. But again, I just kind of got tired of being like, I don't really have I feel like my presentation needs to be fine tuned. And so I don't think I'm going to do stand up because I don't think other people think I'm as funny as I do. I am my number one fan. I crack myself up on a daily basis. I had to go talk to some high school kids last week about what it's like to be a TPA. And I finally looked at them and I said, can y'all smile? Like, I'm funny. And I got worse looks at that point.
You can't tell people you're funny when they're not laughing, Melissa.
My high school kids, y'all are laughing, okay? But high school kids, those are some tough critics right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He had that crowd to laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so that's okay.
Yes. It was really just taking that concept, Christopher, that I was, and Catherine, that I'm passionate about, and being able to package it up and market it so that I can go and really spread the word on something I'm really passionate about, but also, to be very blunt, because I'm an entrepreneur, also get paid to do it,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm working towards in terms of just kind of something else. I see a lot of, there's a lot of people that get paid to speak that are CPAs or attorneys or something like that. And so they have a presentation on I'm going to say like a side gig. It's just every time I give that presentation, this is going to sound super cheesy, but every time I give that presentation, somebody comes up to me. They've either had a bad week, they've had a bad year, they're overwhelmed, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever's going, and they come up to me and they say, Melissa, I absolutely needed to hear that today.
Wow.
And that makes it worth it to me. I don't know if that's the teacher in me or if that's just what I I feel like society has created this incredible, this thought that we all have to kill ourselves to be successful, and there is no option to say no, and there is no and I don't believe that. I mean, my life today is, it's vastly better in terms of, I love what I do it on my own terms, and I'm successful at doing it. Who doesn't want that?
So,
But you are right. The larger society message is always, but you have to do more. You know,
so how do you instill the concept of just say no and there's boundaries to brand new people at your firm? Aren't those the people you want to just say yes?
Depends on their role.
Okay. No, I was being serious. I mean, because I was just thinking about, I've been doing this a little bit longer. I started in January, in the January 1990.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant this January.
No. And we were expected to be there every Saturday through March, just as a matter of course. We were the one concession was there was lunch provided, and we were not expected to wear a tie.
Okay.
For Saturday.
My firm, yeah. We had something similar when I first started at my firm. And part of it's CPA firm and tax deadlines and the TPA deadlines and all of that stuff. So there's different ways of thinking. It's doing the same thing that you're doing, just doing more of it to grow, or creating more efficiencies and thinking about it instead of a time and effort, thinking about what's your value to the client, and how do we deliver that value and get paid appropriately for it. So I saw this post, and I'm so sorry to the person. I don't remember who posted it. It was from a CPA, and she said she had done a project for a client, and I don't remember how much she charged. It was somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000, okay, if I remember correctly. And the client said, "Well, this only took you an hour." And she said, "Actually, I have 20 years of experience. It's taken me 20 years to be able to do this in an hour, and it's worth $10,000. And I was like, that is a great point. And so that's where even my CPA firm, we really don't have people working on Saturdays. To me, it's more about what are the results that we're getting, which sometimes take time to get to. But if we're just going to have everybody come in and work on Saturdays, because I'm going to tell you to work on Saturdays, those aren't the people that are going to buy into our mission. I mean, I don't want to be at the office on Saturdays. I love what I do, but I don't want to be at the office unless I feel like I need to be, or there's something I can do there.
No.
Did I hear this yesterday?
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
So, well, do you have any more questions?
No, it's been it's interesting, the traction, the no Saturdays, the speaking. So, now I understand how you were talking about it, but when you talked about the mic drop, I was expecting like an afternoon in a Ramada somewhere, where there's you and 6 other people going through some kind of course. I didn't realize it was this self-paced thing for 12 to, okay, that's a more substantial thing. I think I might look for something else.
I mean, you could probably finish it quicker, right? I mean, it's really like the modules, it's really good. I'm going to be honest with you. I went into it, to be very blunt, with low expectations, and I'm giving my presentation in 2 weeks. I'm doing it virtually. And I really wouldn't feel the confidence that I have right now, because I really feel like I have a very solid presentation that people are going to walk away, like literally be able to log off of their computer and implement some of the things that I'm telling them to implement.
That's amazing.
Okay. Wow. No, I'm very, once again, we've got a podcast episode where I feel like I've got a whole bunch of to-dos now. So, but I like it.
But she's going to tell you it's 5:15 and it's time to log off.
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just
no. That's a good thing. No.
And it's Thursday. I love that y'all record these on Thursdays. How much fun!
Well, we record them when you're available.
Okay, I'm glad I made it a Thursday.
Yeah, and then notice we moved it from before lunch to after lunch. Well, I'm like,
Well,
what the
so
hell are
we
you
could
doing?
drink.
What do you
When you
mean
said it, I was
9
like, oh
o'clock
my
in the
God.
morning? I'm not going to do a bottle of wine at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I was like, Catherine and I just talked about this, and poor Christopher. I'm like, I can do it at 9:30, Christopher. Sorry. So anyway, I'm glad we switched it.
No,
Well,
no, and I like somebody else saying we're working on, in all seriousness, we're working on no. We're working, because when I started the business, it was just me. There was no such thing as a bad client because I wasn't paying anybody to help. Right? Money was money. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now with staff and technology and what we have to do with everybody else and cybersecurity and all these other things, we now have good clients, and we have clients that we need to, help them find another TPA.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Like, so I guess we're not giving them your name.
I don't want to. but truthfully though, but that's a great point though that you bring up, Christopher. I think that I do try to remember, like, okay, really, whenever I took over for the partner, my old boss, right? I was like, eager beaver, let me go get the sale. I'm going to bring on anyone. And then I'm like, oh gosh, this is not, it just became to be too much to where, we had clients that really, I'll tell a client, I will be very, very honest with the prospect or a current client. I will say, this isn't going to be a good fit. Like, we're not going to work well together. I wish that we could, but we're not going to work well together. So we either need to, here's a couple of others, TPAs that I'm friends with, that I'll talk to on the front end, but I've got certain expectations for clients. And if they do not meet that ideal client profile, I'm not going to take them on. And it didn't take me that long to figure that out. Okay. To figure out, I don't need to take everyone on. It's very interesting when you set those boundaries with the client profile and you stick to them, how many opportunities that you get that are good fits for you, that are going to be profitable clients. I say this a lot. Our most profitable the clients that generate good revenue for us are by far the most enjoyable to work with. And if any clients listening, I like all of our clients, but it's fun. but the ones that I think somebody be like, they pay y'all that, they're so enjoyable to work with because they like us, they respect us, they trust us, and they see the value.
Right. They understand the professional nature of it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and on that,
Christopher, okay. Heimlich.
No, hang on.
So, we've hit my questions. Yeah, but I think this has been very, like I say, we learn things by doing videos with people, podcasts, and it's just interesting I've never really thought of being passionate about no, but I think I understand why you are, and that's really cool. That really is. So.
I'm gonna tell you what. So somebody asked me to host a Mary Kay party.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
And the old Melissa would have felt bad, and I would have said yes, and then I would have been stressed out about it because that is not really my thing. It's just not great. They do great. I'm impressed, but that is not my thing. And so I told her, I said, I'm so excited for this new adventure for you, but I will not be able to host a party. Good, best of luck. What? Yeah. And I said that, and this is going to make me sound, I don't know if I want to edit this out, but I said that, and I was like, that felt really good to say no to that, to be honest, so that's, I got asked to host a dinner for a nonprofit here, and that's just not, I said, I would love to support you financially, but we're not going to be able to do that because how many times have we said yes to something, even in professional, a lot of times, like Catherine, we get asked to volunteer for stuff, and we say yes, and then we dread it, and then we're stressed out, and then we're angry about it. Like, I don't want that anymore. I don't really need it. So
yeah.
Making this work on the personal side with the family as well. No, we don't
That's
want
a
you
whole
coming
nother.
after.
That's a
I
whole,
won't talk about family boundaries because those are hard.
Just asking, you know.
I do. So what's funny is my mom and dad know that I talk about boundaries. And so if I tell them no or about something, they're like, oh, that's right. She's setting a boundary.
Well, this
okay,
is
I can actually say my daughter has, middle of something said, Mom, I'm setting a boundary now. And you're like, oh, okay. Stop.
okay.
So
All right.
sometimes we need that.
Now, I've been looking forward to chatting with you for quite some time. So thank you very much for being able to be a guest on our podcast. It's been great talking
Thank you
to
for saying yes to
Thank
us.
you. Thank you. Thank you for not always saying no. Okay. For doing
I've been looking forward to this all day. I'm not even going to lie. I'm so excited to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
Okay.
And we are going to see you later this month.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will.
in Florida. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So, do we close with the like, subscribe,
I think
tell
we're
your
gonna
friends
do
and
their-
neighbors?
Yeah. So okay, let me ask you a question. How do you end your podcast?
I end our podcast probably, I say, if you would like to reach out to us, please go to our website with our contact information.
So basically your basic call to action.
Oh,
So yeah, all right. So we got the variation on that.
So call, right.
So call.
Ring the bell.
Okay. She hates it when I say this because she did it for months. She kept saying, call us at sales@hunterbenefits.com. And I wasn't picking up on what she was saying. It finally dawned on me, wait a minute, you have to email us at sales@hunterbenefits.com. You can't call us there.
So my speaking engagement might be about letting it go. Right?
Let it go. No.
Let it go.
No, that's not going to work. So anyway, so thank you very much, Melissa. Looking forward to seeing you in person again later this month.
Yes.
For those of you watching, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends and neighbors. And for all of those who tell us after the fact that you're watching our videos, please comment. Let us know that you're watching. It really helps the algorithm and everything else. So thank you very much. You know what to do with the like button. So take care, everybody.
Thank you so
See
much.
you later.
Toodaloo.
Guys, thank you.